Did you know that with just one nutrient-rich fruit, you can reduce prostate inflammation, improve your sleep, and relieve nighttime urination discomfort without needing to rely on medication? Hello, Mr. George, Ms. Linda, and all of our senior audience members across the United States. I'm Dr. Authority with over 20 years of experience in men's health and senior wellness. Today, I'm going to share a silent yet powerful secret, a simple daily fruit that can dramatically support prostate health. Stay focused because this is something you likely haven't heard from any doctor before. Mr. George, age 65, living in Florida, wakes up 3 to 4 times each night to urinate. Or take Ms. Linda, age 72, from California, who was recently diagnosed with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, after a routine checkup. This is a common condition in men over 60 in America, affecting about 50 to 60% of that age group. They experience frustrating symptoms like frequent nighttime urination, urgency, and a weak urine stream, leading to exhaustion, disrupted sleep, and interference in daily life. Mr. Robert, 68 years old from Pennsylvania, shared, "After a sleepless night due to multiple bathroom trips, I feel drained, mentally low, and less productive during the day." There are many such stories, causing worry about prescription medications, surgery, or even hospitalization. But here's the good news. There's a fruit you can find at any American grocery store that may help reduce prostate symptoms without the need for heavy medication. It's rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients, supports blood flow, and relaxes bladder muscles, helping patients sleep better and wake up less often. It's nothing exotic. It's the tomato, a common fruit that costs just a few dollars per pound. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that multiple U.S. medical studies have shown to help shrink the prostate and improve BPH symptoms. Let's go back to Mr. George in Florida. He used to drink black coffee every morning and avoided red foods, having heard that tomatoes might be bad for long-term use. But after a consultation at my clinic, he decided to try about 1 cup of tomato a day, maybe a bowl of cherry tomato salad, an 8 fluid ounce glass of tomato juice, or 1/2 cup of tomato sauce on spaghetti. After 2 weeks, Mr. George reported, "I slept more deeply. Last night, I slept 6 straight hours without waking up to pee." After 4 weeks, his doctor confirmed noticeable improvement. Nighttime urination dropped from 3 times to just 1 to 2. He happily shared, "I've got my energy back." It's affordable. A pound of tomatoes in an American supermarket costs only about $2 to $3. Easy to find, easy to eat, can be eaten raw, made into salad, cooked, or juiced. Totally flexible. Scientifically reliable, lycopene has been proven in U.S. and European research to have anti-inflammatory effects on the prostate and reduce prostate tissue growth effectively. And best of all, minimal side effects, unlike prescription medications or surgery. The ideal users are men aged 60 and older experiencing mild to moderate BPH symptoms such as urgency, weak stream, and nighttime urination 1 to 4 times. Suggested intake: 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, about 150 grams, 8 fluid ounces of tomato juice, or 1/2 cup of cooked tomato sauce per day. It's best consumed with healthy fats like olive oil to enhance lycopene absorption. If you're currently on prostate medication, consult your doctor before significantly increasing tomato intake. I'm not using medical knowledge to scare you or promote any product. I simply want to help Mr. George, Ms. Linda, Mr. Robert, and you discover a natural, safe, easy-to-implement approach that many doctors might not mention. I always encourage you to combine dietary improvement, light physical activity, regular checkups with your family doctor, and wise use of natural remedies like tomatoes. If you're 60 or older and find yourself waking up multiple times at night, don't ignore this tomato story. This video and article will guide you on how to use it safely, properly, and effectively, using standard American measurements in pounds, ounces, and fluid ounces. I hope that after this introduction, you'll join me for the deeper section below: scientific explanation, selection tips, practical recipes, and overall advice from Dr. Authority. Mr. George and Ms. Linda have already seen improvements. What about you? Don't miss the next part, where I'll explain why lycopene in tomatoes is so essential and how to prepare it simply so seniors can easily make it part of their daily routine. After the age of 60, most men in the United States face subtle yet frustrating changes in their bodies. And one of the most common is benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. This isn't a rare disease. It's so widespread that it's almost considered a normal part of aging. But what's unfortunate is that many people don't realize it can be managed early, effectively, and entirely naturally if addressed in time. I met Mr. Donald, 70 years old, living in Ohio, when he came to my clinic suffering from chronic sleep deprivation, irritability, and constant fatigue. He said, "Doctor, every time I barely fall asleep, I have to get up to go to the bathroom, 4 to 5 times a night. It feels like I haven't had a full night's sleep in months." And he's far from the only one. A recent study from the U.S. National Institute of Urological Diseases shows that more than 60% of men over 60 are experiencing symptoms like difficulty urinating, frequent nighttime urination, and weak urine flow. Yet most just assume it's a normal part of getting old and try to endure it day by day. The truth is, when the prostate enlarges, it presses against the urethra, gradually weakening the urine stream and preventing the bladder from emptying completely. This leads to more frequent urination, especially at night. Over time, this not only disrupts sleep, but also impacts memory, blood pressure, and mental well-being. Mr. Richard, 68, from Texas, used to be very active, riding his bike 3 miles around his neighborhood every morning. But recently, he hasn't had the energy. He shared, "I feel like I'm being drained of energy just because I can't sleep. I tried drinking less water at night, cutting out coffee, even using sleeping pills, but nothing worked." In reality, many people stay silent. They don't mention it to their children, and they don't see a doctor because they feel embarrassed or worry about treatment costs. But what I want to emphasize today is BPH is not something you have to accept as you age. It's a condition that can be managed and even significantly improved just through small dietary changes. Another issue I've seen is that many patients start taking prescription medication as soon as they are diagnosed, like alpha blockers or 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, without proper guidance on potential side effects. Some of these medications can cause postural hypotension, sexual dysfunction, or increase the risk of falls in the elderly. These risks can be avoided if we combine medical treatment with a healthy lifestyle, especially through foods rich in antioxidants. What troubles me most is that so many men are silently suffering, missing the chance to improve their quality of life, simply because they lack information. And even more regrettably, they don't realize that a very simple fruit, like the tomato, could make such a big difference. When Mr. Donald started changing his diet, adding tomato salad with olive oil to his lunch and cutting back on processed foods, after just 3 weeks, he returned to the clinic with a relieved smile. "I still have to get up to go, but now it's just once or twice. My sleep is more continuous. I can exercise again." Mr. Donald's story is just one of hundreds I witness each year, and they all have one thing in common. They thought they had to live with age-related discomfort until they understood the root of the issue and began to change little by little. If you're going through something similar, please don't give up. There are solutions, there is hope, and I'll be with you every step of the way. Tomatoes aren't a magic pill, but in the hands of someone who understands them, they can be a turning point. Over more than 20 years as a doctor, what weighs on me the most isn't the severe cases or complex prescriptions. It's the simple, natural, inexpensive things that are so often overlooked. And one of those is the role of food in improving prostate health. Did you know that many of my patients, men who once relied on medications, who thought surgery was their only way out, saw clear improvements just weeks after changing their eating habits? The sad part is, not many doctors ever told them this. The modern healthcare system in the U.S. has many strengths, but also its limits. A primary care physician typically only has 15 to 20 minutes per appointment. In that short window, explaining the role of each food group, the mechanisms of nutrition, or lifestyle adjustments is nearly impossible. So patients leave the clinic with a prescription in hand, but without something far more important, the belief that they can actively take control of their health. Tomatoes, that juicy red fruit, aren't just a topping on your spaghetti or sandwich. They're a biological treasure, rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant proven by studies across the US, Europe, and Japan to lower the risk of prostate enlargement. I once asked Mr. Frank, a 74-year-old patient from Minnesota, what he thought when I first mentioned tomatoes as part of his treatment plan. He laughed, slightly confused. "I thought you were joking, Doc. I expected you to prescribe more meds, maybe run some tests. Didn't expect you to say salad." But after 6 weeks, he returned, this time with his wife. "I never knew I could feel this much relief. For the first time in years, I'm not afraid of the night." The truth is, not all doctors ignore this out of neglect. Sometimes it's lack of time. Sometimes the patient themselves can't believe that something as simple as a tomato could make a difference. In a study by Harvard University, men who consumed at least 10 servings of tomatoes per week had significantly lower risks of prostate-related issues compared to those who didn't. And lycopene isn't just found in fresh tomatoes. It's even more potent when tomatoes are cooked, especially when paired with healthy oils like olive oil. I remember once asking Mr. James, an 81-year-old in Oregon, "What did you have for dinner last night?" He said, "Spaghetti with tomato sauce. My wife made it." "You told me to eat tomatoes, Doc, and I listened." I smiled. A small change, but a huge victory. What's remarkable is that lycopene doesn't come with the side effects of medication. It doesn't drop your blood pressure, cause dizziness, or affect your heart rate. It's part of food, something you already know, already eat. You just haven't realized its true power. So the truth few people talk about is this: there are things already in your fridge, in your backyard garden. That could be the key to a restful night's sleep, a day full of energy, a better quality of life. And it doesn't start with a prescription. It starts with the belief that you deserve a natural, safe, and effective choice. Dear friends, by now you've probably guessed it. The powerful fruit I've been talking about since the beginning of this video is none other than the tomato. But the special part isn't just in its familiar name. It's in the quiet strength packed inside each plump red tomato we casually add to salads, sauces, or sandwiches every day. Throughout my time working with older patients, I often ask them one simple question: if you could try something natural, drug-free, and easy to do, would you be willing to give it a shot? Most nod yes, and tomatoes are the simplest answer I can offer. Yet the results are far from simple. Tomatoes contain lycopene, a powerful antioxidant in the carotenoid family. What's fascinating is that lycopene becomes even more active when tomatoes are cooked, not raw. This surprises many people. Mr. Harold, age 67 from New York, told me, "I've eaten raw tomatoes my whole life and never knew that tomato sauce was actually the best thing for my prostate health." And he was right. When tomatoes are cooked in sauces, soups, or juices, the lycopene becomes much more absorbable. Add a bit of extra virgin olive oil, and the absorption nearly doubles. Lycopene has anti-inflammatory properties, helps inhibit abnormal growth of prostate cells, and improves blood flow to the pelvic region. That's why many U.S. studies consider lycopene a key component of a healthy diet for seniors, especially men over 60. I remember one patient, Mr. Stanley, age 73 from Arizona. He was a retired teacher, quite skeptical that food could actually heal anything. But after a deep conversation, he agreed to try a tomato protocol for 30 days. Each day he consumed half a cup of cooked tomato sauce mixed with 1 tablespoon of olive oil with dinner. After nearly a month, he returned for a follow-up and said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I don't feel like I'm aging every morning when I wake up anymore." Specifically, his nighttime urination reduced significantly, from 4 times down to just 1 or 2. He slept deeper, felt more alert, and most notably, his spirits were lifted. This isn't a miracle. It's the compounding effect of small, steady changes, and tomatoes were the first link in that positive chain. The beauty of tomatoes is that they're affordable, accessible, and easy to integrate into your daily meals. 1 pound of fresh tomatoes at a U.S. supermarket costs about $2 to $3. You can enjoy cherry tomatoes in a salad, fresh tomato juice, or make tomato sauce to eat with pasta, warm rice, or even add to vegetable soups. A recommended portion would be 1 cup of ripe tomato daily, or 8 fluid ounces of tomato juice, or 1/2 cup of cooked tomato sauce, paired with a healthy oil like olive oil to boost absorption. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet. Just one small addition, done consistently each day. That's how you begin a journey of gentle recovery. No pain, no pressure. Believe this, your prostate health isn't in anyone else's hands. It lies in your daily choices. Tomatoes aren't magic, but when used correctly, consistently, and with intention, they can create real magic in your everyday life. When I talk about tomatoes as part of the journey to better prostate health, people often ask me, Doctor, how much should I eat? What's the right way to consume it? Does it need to be specially prepared? This is actually my favorite part because it's not just about medical knowledge, it's about real-life application in your daily routine. First, the most important point I want to emphasize is this. Consistency matters more than complexity. You don't need to overhaul your entire meal plan. You simply need to incorporate tomatoes wisely into your daily meals and stick with it. According to U.S. research, the recommended intake is 15 to 30 milligrams of lycopene per day to support prostate health. The good news is, you can easily reach this target through everyday foods. For example, 1 cup of sliced ripe tomatoes, about 180 grams, provides roughly 4 to 6 milligrams of lycopene. 1/2 cup of cooked tomato sauce contains up to 17 milligrams of lycopene. 8 fluid ounces of tomato juice, about 240 milliliters, delivers around 22 milligrams of lycopene. This means that just a morning glass of tomato juice or a dinner with spaghetti and cooked tomato sauce already puts you in the effective range. It's that simple. However, there's one small but powerful tip: pair tomatoes with healthy fats. Lycopene is fat-soluble, meaning your body absorbs it better when eaten with plant-based oils. I often recommend using extra virgin olive oil. Not only is it good for your heart, it also supports digestion and boosts nutrient absorption. Here's a simple example. Try a cherry tomato salad tossed with olive oil and a bit of mozzarella cheese. It's not just a delicious Italian-style dish, but also a natural remedy for your prostate. Or if you prefer American-style meals, you can enjoy tomato juice with breakfast, add sliced tomato to your sandwich, or use homemade tomato sauce as a topping for grilled vegetables. And here's a tip for those who don't enjoy raw tomatoes. Cooking them actually enhances lycopene effectiveness. When tomatoes are boiled or roasted, their molecular structure changes, making lycopene easier to release and absorb. That's why spaghetti with tomato sauce, tomato soup, or even pizza with tomato toppings can be great choices. I also want to highlight something important. Don't immediately rely on supplements or lycopene pills. While convenient, they don't offer the same long-term effectiveness, bioavailability, or digestive comfort as natural foods, especially for older adults. And most of all, real food brings enjoyment, flavor, and positive emotions, something no pill can replicate. For those already on prostate medication prescribed by a doctor, you can absolutely add tomatoes to your diet as a natural complementary therapy, as long as it's done in moderation and not as a complete substitute for your medication. Think of tomatoes as a teammate in improving your quality of life, not a one-man replacement. One final piece of advice: if you're not used to eating tomatoes daily, start slowly. Add a little each day and listen to your body. I truly believe that with patience and the right knowledge, anyone can build a healthy eating habit, naturally and without pressure. Just remember, every tomato you eat today is a small step for your health, but a big leap toward peace and vitality in the years to come. And I, Dr. Authority, will always be here, walking with you, one meal, one choice at a time. Dear friends, if you've listened this far, it means you truly care about your health, and that is something deeply admirable. I want to offer my heartfelt thanks to you for taking the time, for trusting this message, and for having the courage to step away from the familiar path and open yourself to newer, more natural, and healthier choices. Life after 60 in the U.S. is not always easy. Many men who were once the pillars of their families, who dedicated their lives to work and responsibility, now quietly endure the discomfort of waking up multiple times each night because of something that seems small, the prostate. But let me remind you of one important truth. You are not alone. And more importantly, you don't have to suffer in silence. Remember, Taking care of your health doesn't have to begin with a prescription. It begins with awareness. And sometimes a single tomato, so ordinary, can be the very first step in reclaiming your quality of life. If today's message resonated with you, I kindly ask that you do three small things. First, try adding tomatoes to tomorrow's meal. Just a small salad, a glass of tomato juice, or a spoonful of tomato sauce in your favorite dish. No big changes, just a beginning. Second, if you have a loved one, a husband, a father, an uncle, or a senior friend quietly facing similar symptoms, please share this video with them. One small action could open a new choice, a new hope. There are many people out there waiting to hear this. And finally, please don't give up. No matter how many years you've lived, no matter how long the symptoms have lasted, the human body always has the capacity to heal, but only if we give it the chance. And that chance begins with you, with each food you choose, each drink you take, each positive thought you allow in. I, Dr. Authority, am committed to walking this journey with you. I'm not just here to give advice once. I'm here to go the distance with you, through every video, every real story, every piece of guidance that holds value, to help you live healthier, happier, and more confidently in your own body. We can't turn back time, but we can absolutely make the years ahead more meaningful, not through far-fetched miracles, but through simple, reachable choices: a ripe red tomato, a nourishing meal, a full night's sleep, and a hopeful spirit. If you're ready, start today. And if you need support, I'll be here to listen, to guide, and to help restore your belief. Because health isn't just about test results. Health is the peace you feel when you wake up in the morning and know you're still strong enough to live your life to the fullest. I wish you a day full of energy, a night of deep rest, and a joyful, vibrant journey that begins right in your own familiar kitchen.